Welcome to this video session on National Education Policy 2020. We have a lot of policies, mainly 3 to 4 policies in the earlier days. University Education Commission, Secondary Education Commission in 1952 by Mudaliar, and Indian Education Commission by D.S. Kothari in 1964. And also we have National Policy on Education in 1986. So now we have this policy, National Education Policy 2020. All these policies speak about it has the power to work as popular instrument of social, economic and political changes. Earlier also we had a lot of policies, but unfortunately these policies, previous policies, did not bring a drastic change in Indian society. That can be found in a lot of unemployment people after their undergraduation or BTech degrees. That is the main problem. In Indian National Education Policy 2020, it is not something new to be introduced, yes, but it is just transforming Indian education system. So it is just a process. Whatever we got from the previous policies, but we are adding some later developments in both science or technology that we add to this policy, and we come to the point. So it is mainly divided into 4 parts. That is, first one is school education, second one is higher education, third is about other key area focus, fourth one is about how it is going to happen. Let us see about, in introduction we see mainly about the need of skilled workforce. When we compare the economy of China, the people are not that much undergraduated, they don't have much qualified degrees and all, but they are skilled laborers. They are able to produce something for the nation, and also for their they are earning something for their livelihood. So that is the thing. But in India we like all these after their graduation also. So we need something skilled workforce. So this policy also speak about that one. The next thing is about global citizen. Google or Microsoft, all they speak about the need and importance of 21st century skills. You are a global citizen. You are not only going to work in your nation, you may be working sitting in your home, maybe talking to the people in Africa, people in America. You may be working in a team. You need to have 21st century skills, then only you will be able to survive. So what are the 21st century skills? They are creativity, communication, critical thinking, collaboration. So you may not see the person in direct contact, but you may be contacting them through the online. So you need to know whether that person is genuine. So that can be understood only through proper and strong evaluation skill about that person. So then only we will be able to be a successful learner, a better human being, and also will be successful in life. It aims at producing engaged, productive and contributing citizen in 21st century. So this also policy also speak about how to innovate, adapt and absorb new material in novel and changing fields. When we come to the assessment part, it is very clear. Earlier we used to assess only the knowledge, According to the Bloom's taxonomy, the knowledge level questions were evaluated. We did not evaluate the emotional quotient or intelligence quotient of the student, how he is adaptive, how he is accommodating, how he is adjusting others in a team. So, how is his emotional balance, emotional capacity, that also need to be identified and corrected. In this slide we see about the vision of the policy. It is a deep rooted pride in being Indian, not only in thought but also in spirit, intellect and deeds. It is to develop knowledge, skills, values, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. So that is very important. So we need to possess the values of Indian culture both in spirit and also intellect and deeds, and also becoming a 21st century skilled learner. High quality education to all the people of India. A global knowledge superpower India. These are the vision of the Indian Education Policy 2020. A deep sense of respect towards the fundamental duties and constitutional values. We are enjoying a lot of privileges, freedom from our country. But the question is, are we being a responsible citizen? Are we observing the constitutional values? These are the some points for reflection. So let us move to the other points. Key principles in National Education Policy 2020. Emphasize on conceptual understanding. Again, we bring the idea of Bloom's taxonomy. We are learning, the students are learning a lot of things, a lot of concepts. Earlier, the students used to learn so many things, but after the exam, they don't remember anything. That was the situation. So they will reduce the syllabus. That is one of the advantages that we see in NEP. They will give more importance for the practical application of the thing. Critical thinking and creativity, this comes in 21st century skills. It is very much needed. Unique capabilities, respect for diversity and local context. Diversity refers to, maybe in India we have 29 states, so lot of different languages, different ethnicity. People need to accept and appreciate this ethnicity and diversity. Equity and inclusion. So this policy speaks about inclusiveness. All should be included, no one should be avoided. Maybe those who are staying in slum or underprivileged people, all should get education. Right to Education Act, they should get compulsory and free education. Continuous review. Then it speaks about community participation, active participation in community activities. This one is about the use of technology. I don't want to elaborate about use of technology. Due to this pandemic situation, the teachers and the students are using the technology in teaching and learning process. First one is universalization of access. That means they have the right to education, they have to learn. Secondly, about ensure equity and inclusion. No one should be avoided from learning. It is their right to learn, it's their right to live, it's their right to enjoy the freedom, at the same time able to be a responsible citizen also. Improve quality and achievement of learning outcomes foundational literacy and numeracy. The fourthly, focus on 21st century skills in teaching, learning and assessment. Already we have seen about that one. Common standards for public and private school education. So when we come to the new education structure regarding school, earlier we had 10+2 education structure in school system. So they are telling common standards for public and private school education. That means private schools had kindergarten, nursery, lower KG, lower kindergarten, UKG, upper kindergarten. So anyway, now the policy speaks about all the schools have the normal standards, common standards decided by the policy makers. Overcoming the language barrier in learning. So they should be taught in their mother tongue. So it is not something against English, but it is about learning the concept in their mother tongue, and so that they can be a better learner. New curricular and pedagogical structure based on cognitive and socio-emotional developmental stages. This can be found in the assessment of the students. Already I have told about this point. Not only their knowledge need to be assessed, but their skills also to be assessed according to the NEP 2020. So the division stages correspond to the age ranges: foundational stage 3 to 8 years, preparatory stages 8 to 11, middle stage 11 to 14 years, secondary stage 14 to 18 years. Foundational stage beginning from the preschool, that is till 3 years for the preschool and class 1 and 2. Then we have the preparatory stages, that is from 8 to 11 years, that is for 3 years, class 3, 4 and 5. Middle stage, that is for class 6, 7 and 8. Secondary stage is for class 9 to 12. There will not be higher secondary and high school, only there will be secondary education or secondary stage. Early childhood care and education, the foundation of learning. So here we see one great thing or introduced by the education policy, that is about preschool education. English medium school had this preschool education. So otherwise we had the Anganwadis 1 year formation just before going to the class 1. So according to the scientist, their study on the brain, that it is said that the 85% of child's cumulative brain development occurs prior to the age of 6. So before they are in class 1, 85% of their brain is developed. Also we see in this slide, the students need in preschool, the students need play based learning, activity based learning, inquiry based learning. So when they do something in hands-on experience, when they may be making something with clay, then their kinesthetic, their brain, everything is developed properly. They understand the concepts, they see the things, they touch the things, they understand the things, so they get a better understanding. So that is the one of the major contribution for the preschool education that we see in the NEP 2020. and also it is known as preparatory class or Balavatika. So all are very much familiar with this picture. Already we have discussed about this point, so I am not telling about anything on this. Reduction in curriculum. Earlier students used to learn so many concepts, so many points. They write it in the exam, just immediately after the exam no one remembers what they have studied. So that was the thing. So now the NEP is going to reduce the curriculum or concepts, so that they learn only the essential things, and according to the Bloom's taxonomy, let them have critical evaluation. Not only they evaluate the knowledge level, understanding level, but also their experimental learning, activity based learning, and also the critical understanding of the things, practical application of the things. All these points are repeating: critical thinking, interactive classes, experimental learning. Once they learn by themselves, they become the owner of that thing. He is able to do, he can do it. Innovative pedagogy, transforming teaching learning process. Experimental learning, integrated pedagogy, promotion of peer tutoring. This is one of the thing that could be found in NEP is peer tutoring. That is very much relevant. We see in universities or in school, just before the exam, students, 2-3 friends or small teams, they gather, they discuss about the topic, they contribute to each other. So that is very important. It has got a very visible effect in the process of learning, peer tutoring. Equal weightage, that is regarding not only for studies, they also learn maybe music, sports, yoga, etc. Bagless days, use of integration of technology. Now we come to the assessment. Assessment, it plays an important role. I already spoke about assessment. Not only they have to assess the conceptual knowledge, but they should assess the total person, his well-being, his emotional condition. So let us see about this assessment. Key stage assessments. Assessments at key stage in classes 3, 5 and 8 to track their achievement. Moving away from rote learning, assessments of core concepts and knowledge, higher order skills and its application in real life situation. Some may argue that it is not possible to avoid rote learning. When we learn a poem in our mother tongue or in English, we just by heart it. Yeah, in some cases rote learning is needed, but not in all cases. But when we come to the learning of concepts in science or some other subjects, mathematics, we have to understand the thing. So that is why it is said that moving away from rote learning. Achievement of critical learning outcome. Testing focus on achievement of essential learning outcome. So when teacher teaches a lesson, so teacher already makes some objectives. After this completion of this chapter, students will be able to study those things. So it should be completed. Learning outcome should be completed after each session. Results of school examination, they will be used only for developmental purposes and for continuous monitoring and improvement of schooling. Class 9 to 12 speaks about viable modes to be explored. Annual, semester or modular exams, 2 parts exams, objective type and descriptive type. Teacher preparation. Teachers to be prepared for transformation in the assessment system by the 2023 academic session. So teachers also need to be trained how to conduct this new evaluation system or pattern. Guidelines. Guidelines will be prepared by NCERT in consultation with SCERT, Board of Assessment, and PARAC. Let us see what is this PARAC. PARAC National Assessment Center. Each school board shall ensure equivalence of academic standards in learners' attainments, standards, norms, and guidelines for school boards through PARAC. It is about common system of evaluation in consultation with the NCERT or SCERT, etc. The other one of the point is regarding teacher training. That is very important. We already know that a 4-year integrated B.Ed degree is offered by the few universities. Now they are going to make it more relevant, this system. So there will be rigorous teacher training. It consists of service environment and culture, continuous professional development, career management and progression, professional standards for teachers, and also keeping in mind that there will be NHERC, that is National Higher Education Regulatory Council. NHERC. It will function as single point regulator for higher education sector, including teacher education. In second part we shall see about higher education. So these are the things we see about National Education Policy 2020. Let us hope that this policy should bring lot of drastic changes in education system, so that our future citizens would be employed, they would have a better living conditions, and also the growth of our nation, proper growth of our nation. Let us hope for the best. So these are few references. Thank you so much.